Got her back installed. Let's see how close to the same spot we are. Look at that. This is a shop-made carriage stop that I got in one of my lathe deals. We have no calibrated way of turning it. So let me touch off. There's our touch off. Here's our bit with a 113 shank. So now I can only move the carriage 113 thousandths. I got a little tight. Back it off just a little. There we go. Ooh, a little loose now. There we go. So now I've got a 113 gap here. So as I move the carriage over, I'll stop there and that'll stop my cut. Back the bit out with the cross slide. And I can move the carriage over some and move the bit in with the compound. Clear these chips out of here. And in and out will be the last cut here. I can already see we have a slightly wider flange over here on the left. That's okay, our belt fits in there nice. A little bit, it's slightly above. I think I'd like it maybe 20-30 thousandths higher, but hey, it'll work great. So we're going to break some edges. On a very fine file. Going to do something about the width of this flange. Paper fits in there. Oh ho ho! So that's that sound. The pulley moved on the arbor. Wow. Ah, so as the work is warming up, the pulley is moving. So I've heard that sound several times while I've been machining. And that's actually what's going on. Fascinating. I'm going to be careful not touch my arbor. I believe my pulley is getting looser. Oh, most certainly it is. I'm going to have to take it off of there and reset it. So what's happening is, this is the big end of the arbor, this is the small end. And as the part heats up, it keeps moving back and back and back. So I'm going to go cool it off so I can finish my machining. That'll lock it back down to the shaft. She's cool now. Now since it's heated itself up and grew and gone further onto the arbor, I may have to heat it up to get it off now. Got her back installed. Let's see how close to the same spot we are. Look at that. Cuts so much better when it's not moving and slipping on the shaft. So we are at about 115. This flange is about 90. These are even smaller. About 72, maybe 76. I'm going to go a little smaller here. I'm mostly just looking for aesthetically pleasing here. Yeah, so the reason these came out thin is this overall width was just a little skosh on the narrow side. I think I'm going to leave this flange here. It's a little wider than these, but it's a little more closely matched to what we have here on the inside of the pulley. I'd say we have a little less than 100. Here we have just a shade more than 100. So looking good. Now notice, this is how thick this, well, when I first started cutting this off, I left this little piece of scrap here because I didn't touch the post, didn't touch the arbor, and then look how far it moved back. That gap there is really how far it moved back from heating up. Aluminum grows quite a bit when it gets hot. So let me think about this. I think this pulley is done as far as turning the belt grooves. Oh yeah. That makes it a lot better. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Awesome. Now, it would look, to me it would look a little better to dish in the ends of this pulley and give it a little style. But, yeah, that's not on the original part. Of course, the original part is steel. Okay, so now I need to take it off the arbor, since all of the outside machining is done. We need to do the keyway, and also need to drill and tap it for a set screw. So check it out. I think I made something out of nothing here. Made something out of nothing. What do you think, Bob? I could still see there was a pulley in that block that you condemned. I don't blame you for condemning it. I gave you tolerances that were ridiculously too close. And I realize the error of my ways now. And I think I made something out of it anyways. Let's get it off of there. So here's an example of rough use of the drill press. This is a Detroit, which is some Chinese brand drill press that I purchased for 50 bucks for this floor model drill press. And look, I'm probably going to clean up and sell it. It's actually a little heavier duty than the Harbor Freight one that I have, or whatever that floor model drill press is that I have. So now I'm going to strike the quill, which will transfer through here and hopefully drive this out. I have a plastic hammer, and I'm going to catch the arbor if it comes loose. Probably going to have to heat it up. Let's see, it's moving. So I'm going to jack it back up to it. Sure isn't moving far. I think I'm going to put some heat to it. Was that a propane? When you buy propane bottles, don't buy the long skinny ones. They're not as safe as the short fat ones. The short fat ones are sometimes only available in like the camping area. Campers prefer these, but they have a lot wider base, so you're a lot less likely to knock over your torch while it's on. Let's free our pulley. It is shrunk on here from me machining and heating up the pulley during machining. My arbor is going to drop into a box down below that's got a blanket in it. Now it was hot, but I could hold on to it, so it wasn't above 130 degrees. See if it's loose. Look at that. Here's that little teeny ring I left on there. Thing is tissue paper thin. We'll let that cool, I think. Yeah, a little too hot to hold on to. Cooled down in just a couple minutes. Now, every time I do a project, I discover there's a tool that I don't have that I need, and I get in there and find it and order it. I don't have a chamfering bit big enough to do a 5/8 inch hole. So now I'm going to shop for one possibly a 5/8 one or 3/4 one, and a larger one, maybe an 1.25 inch. I do have a nice deburring tool. Much rather do this with a tool bit. Be a little less ragged than that. But that's fine enough. There we go. Now, I don't have my milling machine put together, so how do I locate and drill a hole and come out in the center of that? I think I can figure it out.